A devastating blow has just been dealt to Putin's army, and it came deep behind the front lines. Ukrainian elite soldiers from the special unit Timur carried out a daring covert operation in the Sumy region. The result? Massive Russian casualties and a strategic victory that could shift the momentum in this part of the war. In today's video, we're taking a closer look at this impressive military operation. How did Ukraine manage to pull it off? What exactly happened during the mission? And why could this strike have a long-term impact on Russia's ability to wage war? Let's break it down. As we analyze Russia's summer offensive against Ukraine, we can generally identify three main axes of attack. First, there's the push in the Donbas, where Russian forces are trying to capture Pokrovsk, while also increasing pressure on Kostiantynivka. I've covered why that offensive is likely to fail in another video. You'll find the link in the description. Then there's the front near Kupiansk, where Russian troops are trying to take control of a critical logistics hub. And finally, there's the Russian foothold in Ukraine's Sumy region. At the beginning of this year, Putin massed around 50,000 troops near Sumy, hoping to push Ukrainian forces back toward the border near Kursk and establish a so-called buffer zone inside Ukrainian territory. But things haven't gone according to plan. Despite the build-up, Russian forces have barely advanced, only about 14 kilometers in several months. They never even came close to threatening the regional capital, Sumy. In fact, Ukraine has launched several successful counterattacks in recent weeks, liberating villages like Kindrativka and Andriivka. In response, Russia recently reinforced its presence in Sumy, attempting to reignite its stalled offensive. But Kyiv saw this coming and struck first in spectacular fashion. What followed was one of the most effective Ukrainian special operations of the entire war. According to the Ukrainian military intelligence agency, GUR, the operation involved not only the Timur unit, but also other elite formations like the Siberian Battalion, Chimera, Yunga, First Line, and the Raven Group. Although the GUR has not shared full details of the mission for obvious reasons, there are some key insights. United 24, a government-affiliated media outlet, reports that Ukrainian forces infiltrated deep into Russian lines, launching a surprise attack that triggered intense close-quarters combat. Artillery and FPV drones played a critical role, with Ukrainian units possibly luring Russian troops into kill zones where they were decimated by precision fire. Other sources suggest Ukrainian intelligence operatives may have spent weeks mapping out key Russian positions, carefully planning the strike to maximize damage. The operation was swift, deadly, and left Russian forces no time to regroup. A video published by the GUR on Telegram confirms many of these details. It's just 2.5 minutes long, but it tells a powerful story. You see masked Ukrainian soldiers discussing their plan in hushed tones. Then come the scenes: helicopters lifting off, armored vehicles pushing through dense forests, and soldiers engaging in intense firefights. Drones rise into the sky and crash down on enemy positions. Russian soldiers are shown being killed or captured. It was, by all appearances, a well-coordinated ambush that caught the Russians completely off guard. And the results? Devastating. Ukraine claims over 330 Russian soldiers were killed and more than 550 wounded in this single operation. That's the equivalent of roughly 8 full Russian infantry companies eliminated in one strike. Losses on this scale are incredibly difficult for Russia to replace, both in manpower and in morale. GUR released a brief statement celebrating the mission, stating, "GUR fighters stopped the enemy offensive in Sumy. More than 8 companies of invaders were defeated. Fighters of the Timur Special Unit penetrated the enemy's rear, cleared positions and held them. What's even more remarkable is that the operation was carried out entirely using Ukrainian-made weapons. The FPV drones, the artillery, all homegrown, including the powerful Bodana howitzers used to provide indirect fire support. This makes the mission not just a tactical victory, but also a powerful demonstration of Ukraine's growing self-reliance on the battlefield. For Putin, this operation is a disaster. It proves that Russia is nowhere near achieving its goals in Sumy. In fact, during the entire month of July, Russia failed to capture even 1 square kilometer of new territory in the region. After this latest blow, any further Russian advances in Sumy seem increasingly unlikely. The much-hyped buffer zone? For now, it's evaporated. But it gets worse for the Kremlin. The Ukrainian strike didn't just inflict military losses, it struck at the heart of Russian morale. Ukrainian intelligence intercepted radio communications, revealing that many Russian soldiers flat out refused to launch counterattacks after the operation. Their fear of the elite Timur unit was simply too great. One Ukrainian source summarized it like this: intercepted Russian communications suggest that troops refused to carry out further attacks on positions held by the Timur unit, citing various excuses. The psychological effect of such an operation cannot be overstated. This war, as we know, is not about lightning territorial gains. It's a brutal war of attrition, a grinding conflict where staying power matters more than speed. That means both sides need troops who are willing to fight day after day, month after month. But in Russia's case, that resolve is clearly eroding. The Sumy attack is just one symptom of a broader problem. Desertion is becoming rampant in Russian ranks. According to Ukrainian intelligence, more than 18,000 Russian soldiers have deserted from the southern military district alone. The 8th Combined Arms Army, which has seen some of the heaviest fighting in the east, lost around 12,000 men to desertion, most of them mobilized conscripts. Another 2,500 have reportedly fled from the 58th Army. That's not a statistic. That's a breaking point. Putin continues to mask these issues with aggressive assaults and propaganda-driven victories. But strikes like the one in Sumy make it clear Russia's army is not a steamroller. It's a force straining at the seams, worn down by losses, low morale, and the relentless pressure of Ukrainian resistance. So, what do you think? Was this operation a turning point for Ukraine in the Sumy region? Can Russia recover from such a loss, or is this the beginning of a broader collapse? Let me know what you think in the comments. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like the video, hit subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss the next one. Thanks for watching. Stay sharp and I'll see you in the next one.